What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 6 of season 3 of Demon Slayer. If you have not watched the episode, go watch it right now because, spoiler alert, it's really good. But we're going to go and talk full spoilers ahead, so you've been warned, and we're going to do a real quick recap. This episode had a lot packed into a pretty simple situation happening from the last episode. Genya is going crazy, looking kind of like a demon. We actually don't find out in this episode why exactly he's like that, but we got our speculation. We might go into that. I think we talked about it in the last review as well. But anyway, they have beheaded 4 of the emotional demons, and they're not dead yet. They're just holding their heads, and they're still slowly regenerating. During this time, Tanjiro is able to use his charming ways to get Genya to calm down, who's very upset because he wants to be the one to defeat the upper rank demon because he has aspirations of becoming a Hashira. But Tanjiro, being Tanjiro, is just like, yeah, that's fine. You can kill him. Let's just get this done. So he's able to talk him down. During this fight, Tanjiro remembers catching a whiff of fifth demon while fighting the other 4, and he starts kind of speculating on there's a 5th demon somewhere else. And the fight continues. Genya, Nezuko, Tanjiro are all fighting, and the whole time Tanjiro is trying to locate where the 5th demon might be. So he's running around. Crazy fight scene still happening. This season has just been high budget. We get a quick scene too, back with oh no, I forgot his name. The Mist Hashira. Yeah. He's been stuck in a water bubble for a while, so apparently I don't remember his name. But yeah, he's still in the water bubble. He's not getting out, and the other high-ranked demon is just chilling with him. Kind of surprised that didn't go much further. I'm surprised at all they even showed it. It's just like kind of letting us know that this is still happening, by the way.
I say we still have at least like half the show, and the 2 Hashira have basically almost been non-existent. So.
Yeah, for sure. But this episode's definitely not about him. It's about Genya. As this is all happening, Tanjiro does some really crazy moves, cutting people's mouths across and cutting hands off with his wild blade. And he finally catches the scent of the 5th guy and has Genya pursue him. Genya is running after him, and Tanjiro is essentially running defense. He's making sure he can get out there and find him. As Genya is running around in the woods looking for this guy, and Tanjiro is calling out the position he's getting the scent from, he finally comes upon the original higher rank demon that we all know from earlier, but he's the size of a field mouse. It's kind of adorable how small this dude is. He's just behind like a blade of grass, like crying. Genya instantly just says he's puny, which was a lot of fun, and instantly shoots at him. And so the guy just takes off down the trail. Really well animated. Everything the show is, but it's just funny how well that was animated when he's just running down the trail. I was like, damn. So he's chasing him, he's shooting at him, he's trying to kill him. Finally he catches up. He goes to swing at his head, and his blade breaks across where his neck would have been. And he has a moment of, oh shit, I failed. While this is happening, the staff lightning demon guy lunges at him from behind, seemingly aiming his staff at his back of his neck, throat area. And while this is happening in slow-mo, he has a flashback of why he's kind of even here in the first place. We get a flashback of him and his brother, who's a Hashira now, and how they kind of got initiated into this world. They had a mom who protected them as kids, had a big family. One night, essentially, she got turned into a demon. The older brother tried to protect the family, and Genya was the only one other than his brother who survived. His mom came in and just killed the rest of the kids. Then his older brother was able to dispatch her, and she went away with the son. At the time, Genya blamed his brother for being a murderer, essentially, and then he's kind of thinking about how that could have felt for his brother, in retrospect, now that the emotions are gone, understand the situation better, and how he aspires to be a Hashira, to be on his level, to be able to see him again. And yeah, so there's his aspirations essentially. And yeah, while the guy with the staff's coming at him, Tanjiro is able to fly through and do a crazy swing on the guy. I think he takes his hand off, tells him to not give up because that's Tanjiro's motto with everything. He kind of snaps back to it as he comes down. The spear demon guy attacks both of them and almost assuredly is about to hit Tanjiro, but Genya sacrifices himself, takes the hit. It's just full of holes at this point, and we still don't know why he's like this, but I assume he's fine. He's going to regenerate. But yeah, he's just full of holes. Tells Tanjiro that he's going to let him this one time kill the demon because he can't cut his head off, and it needs to get done. So Tanjiro's quick to just accept that and pursue the demon. Genya continues to fight the other guy, and then yeah, the end of the episode is Tanjiro catching up to the micro demon and swinging at him, and that's the end. It's just like, okay, bye. So yeah, really crazy episode, and not only did they fit in a crazy fight scene that was great, we got some backstory in Genya that gives him some humanity. We still don't know why the hell he's Demon Boy, but we can talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, impressions.
I mean, like you said, it kind of had a little bit of everything. Comedy, action, and backstory. It was a very pleasing episode to watch. The entire, after basically being like, yeah, you can have the kill, because Tanjiro's it's not an ego thing for him. There's a job to be done. That's it. Like, his goal is Nezuko. Like, everything else is, just being, a good human being, basically. So,
yeah, he cares about, what's his name, Muzan? That's it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because that's the solution to his sister.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So yeah, when the other guy has aspirations, I'll back you up, that's fine. And then
yeah, that was funny how much he built that up, how pissed he was. Like, oh, I'm gonna do it, blah blah blah. He's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, if that's all you're worried about, you can do it.
Yeah. And then him and Nezuko take on 4 people that they were barely one-on-oneing 2 episodes ago. So wild, just the level of improvement they've gotten in a couple episodes.
Learning their moves.
Even with the I think it was the anger demon was commenting on the level of improvement, and they were vast. The information they were given was way undertold compared to what they're dealing with out of this guy. So kind of crazy. His growth has been insane. There was also really good information when he did try to swing at the main body of the demon, that he can't use breathing techniques.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me speculate that maybe he intentionally became a demon to find strength because he couldn't do it otherwise. So
yeah,
we'll see. Obviously, all I can do is guess, but he seems very in control, which is a place where even Nezuko is at right now, even though she still uses the mouth guard. But he was choking and drooling, choking out Tanjiro and drooling at the same time. So you can see he was kind of suppressing a lot of that still. He also mentioned that it was basically on a cooldown. He was running out of steam. He needed to get the job done quick. So,
yeah, it's an important detail that I left out of the recap. Is he doesn't do breathing techniques, so it explains why he's using a distance weapon, and that he's using a sword, and that he's using whatever this demon ability is. That I think your speculation. We kind of talked about last review too. That he might be in a Nezuko situation or something similar. I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility because she exists.
Yeah,
so
the precedent is already there. So.
Yeah. Which would be an interesting situation to have Demon Slayer who's... I mean, Nezuko's like a uninitiated Demon Slayer at this point. She's she's doing she's doing the work. She ain't getting paid for it. But this dude... he might be using those abilities because he's so dedicated to trying to do this that he's willing to do anything for it.
It's kind of crazy because demons can't kill demons, right? So Genya, Nezuko, and the five basically could just brawl until the sun comes out. The weapon could go through his head, I suppose, but like they can't like kill each other. So that's why like
I think he said he couldn't.
he couldn't regenerate his head.
Yeah.
He was outside of his ability, I assume.
Yeah.
So that would kill him essentially. And it was a weapon blow that would do that, not the demon like itself necessarily. So
Yeah, depending on the situation, if that actually follows the same rules. But yeah.
yeah. And then yeah, as we've seen even with Tanjiro's growth, sometimes blade isn't enough, especially when you start getting into them upper ranks. You have to use breathing techniques to even get cuts in. So there's some limitations obviously on him, but dude's definitely got a lot of like, you know, as we've been given now, motivation and heart for the goal. But yeah, he's a little standoffish when it comes at the people. So, but so was Inosuke at one point. So
yeah, they've done a really good job this season making Genya a dude I thought was just like angry guy, and like I didn't have any thoughts on him really. I'm like, that's annoying, like he's a dork. But like now I'm like, oh no, he's a cool character. So they've done a really good job like fleshing him out in the short amount of time he's been around, because you know, I like the way he fights. He's interesting with his demon stuff he's doing, and then his backstory makes you understand why he would be so aggressive in his pursuits. So yeah.
I also like the running joke with him. His breathing technique is America breathing. Every time he pulls out the gun.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, that guy was flying around, he's just shooting at him in the air, and then when he got shot full of holes, he just shot.
He doesn't really think. He just pulls the trigger. He just boom instantly. So
gotta be quick, dude.
Like you said, the animation and the quote unquote camera work of the fifth running through the grass was like way nicer looking than it needed to be. The whole time they were fighting off the four and the remains of one of the hot springs or whatever. They were pulling off some crazy angles and motions and stuff. That was like such a treat to watch. I also liked, for the brief moment we got it, the Miss Tashira testing, you know, basically his predicament, but also in his typical fashion being really calm, but the demon doesn't really, you know him. So he views it as fake stoicism, but I don't think it's fake.
Yeah, he's like excited by the idea that he's like suffering in there essentially, and that's because he's probably done this a million times to a million different people, and it's always, you know, similar results. But yeah, he's obviously an interesting case. So I think his ability to stay calm will obviously help him. He's not gonna die in there, but yeah, it kind of just shows more of his character and the lack of understanding that the demon has of him.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see him in combat and do something, because so far he's only like saved that kid, and that's about it.
And they've showed off twice now the transitioning between him standing there and going into mist breathing, which looks amazing every time. So yeah, him and the Love Hashira have you know, very briefly showed off against basic demons. So
yeah,
it'd be interesting to see them actually commit to combat.
I'm really curious about where the season's going to go. I think they're going to do a Mugen Train thing, because like we have so many people at play right now, and it feels like it's either like lying to us, or it feels like we're getting close to a conclusion of at least the 5 demon guy, the emotion demon guy.
I have a hard time believing that one because of the intro to the show. So.
I do too, but like the show's like leading us in that direction, so it's probably misdirection, but something's gonna change here soon. And then the other thing's just kind of going stagnant right now. Like it's just kind of keeping 2 characters busy, and yeah, we've barely seen anything on the Miss Hashira or the Love Hashira. And so, like, for the rest of the season, they're probably going to come into play more. So I'm curious about what's going to happen to allow that, especially because, like, the emotional demon guy is going to have to become more powerful if he's going to stay relevant, because they're getting better at fighting him.
Yeah, his tricks aren't working anymore.
Yeah, so something's going to have to change. And so I'm wondering if another person's going to come into play here, or if, you know, they got a trick up their sleeve, which, you know, everyone has a trick up their sleeve in anime. So yeah, really curious to see where it goes, because as of right now, all I can think of is they're going to try and finish the battle with the emotional demon, and I have no idea where the other situation's going to go. But he's going to get out of the bubble at some point. So I'm just curious. Like, I have no idea where things are going to go from here.
No, for sure. I mean, I have like, basic ideas on who's fighting who, obviously, because those context clues have been given to us. But the how we get there and how it unfolds, obviously, no idea. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great episode. Every episode this season's been fantastic.
This season's been great.
Yeah,
across the board, every episode's been fantastic.
And I just hope the steam keeps going, because I look forward to watching this. So
Yeah, same. I'm not even doing this for the show at all. I'm just watching it, but it helps because I'm a little more invested when I'm talking about it here, as opposed to some of the other reviews we've done. Yeah. Anything else to say?
Nope.
Yeah, it was a great episode. The fight in the beginning was awesome. The whole time I was watching it, I was just like, whatever the fuck these studios get paid, these guys need to be making like the big bucks, man. Because like the amount of, it's not, I kind of said it to you already, but like it's not that other people can't put the work in. They're not in the same regard as the people who make Demon Slayer. It's insane the quality of this show. Like, I feel really passionately about that because, like, I'll go see a anime movie, and of course it's gonna be high budget and great looking. But this is just like an episodic show, and it's like phenomenal looking. I don't care if you dislike the story, the characters, you're not into the anime or something like that for some reason. The quality is just so undeniable. I can't what's an example of another show that's like of this quality? The fight is crazy looking. The camera, like you said, like it's not a camera, but like the way they animate the movement of the viewpoint. Is fantastic. The way it's like panning and moving and all these things are happening, and then like the choreography is fantastic. Like everything's just so good looking. And like if you've been following our Hell's Paradise reviews, I've kind of accepted in that show that I'm not watching that show for fight scenes, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be about that. But I'm not watching this show for that only as well. But I am watching it for sure because they're top notch. They're super well done, and even where it feels like this fight's kind of tapering down into the pursuit of the little guy now, who's adorable, it's still high quality shit. The attacks Tanjiro's doing on these dudes is really good. The way they're animating all these different people all over the place, fighting from different positions, the way you would plan that out on a storyboard. It sounds like it'd be a lot of work. So anyway, that small rant aside, I appreciate the work they put into this show because it's crazy. But anyway, the fight was really cool. Shout out to Nezuko, just like driving herself through that dude's spear just to get close enough to light him on fire. That was dope. I love the part where Tanjiro cut the dude across his mouth. That was dope looking. We got that insight from the lightning guy that, like you said, Tanjiro's more than they anticipated through the report that they got on him because, as they said in the last episode, he's adaptable. He's adapting to the situation quickly. Obviously, his sense of smell helps a lot, but also his ability for his internal dialogue. He assesses things and breaks things down really well. So, and that translates because then he's calling things out and everybody's learning more. And, you got Genya pursuing.
Was basically holding off 4 dudes while shouting out, raid directions, basically.
Yeah, he's just out there running the woods and he's just yelling at him. I really like the character development of Genya so far. Like I said, when you were talking about it, he's becoming effortlessly a likable character. So kudos to them for just having a whole show and going like, yeah, Genya's a guy. He's kind of pissed, but just give us a second. Once we get to it, you'll understand because I think it works. His story is fucked up, having his whole family killed, but it kind of makes sense in this world of Demon Slayer. People go through some pretty crazy trauma because of the era, the period, and also that there's demons that exist. So it's not a great time for people. And yeah, I say this in every review so far, but I like his combat style. It's clumsy, but it's to the point. He shoots and swings, and he's angry. I like that, and it's not just
stubborn. Yeah.
It's not just like the ego and bold, character-driven Inosuke style. It's more like I have to kill this high-ranked demon. Like I need to. Definitely a different feeling than other characters. The reveal of the 5th guy makes sense. And the reveal of him being small, I love that he's just like this tiny dude. That's hilarious. I would like to know maybe more on his character as well. Hopefully, when they end up killing him, we'll get like a flashback or something. So, like, why is he so emotional? Why is he always crying?
Yeah.
Why is his ability, his emotions fighting for him? Which I think is really interesting. I think the 4 demons they've been fighting, they're all emotions, has been a really interesting arc. I wasn't expecting 5 characters that they would have to fight that are all the same character. It's an interesting situation. I think it's much more interesting than the pot guy, but we've barely had time with the pot guy, so
True.
he just kind of reminds me of like he seems pretty typical and like he's creepy. He's like, oh, this is my art project and all that shit. But I'm sure we'll get more from him later. But he kind of reminds me of that dude from Mugen Train, who's just so excited about eating everybody on the train and getting into people's dreams and stuff.
The upper of the lower ranks.
Yeah. Who I think he was probably a weaker villain as well. But then,
But he was a kind of a catalyst for a bigger event. So.
yeah. But Akaza was a much better villain. So I am wondering if the pot guy will be like a buffer for something like that as well. But we'll find out. Yeah, really good episode. I like the backstory on Genya, told quickly and to the point, and the ending sucked because it's just
Cliffhanger, baby.
It's just him swinging at somebody. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you next week. But yeah, really good episode. Every episode's been good. I don't expect any episode this season to not be good. They're just like fucking killing it, and great season so far. So yeah, looking forward to the next episode. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think of this episode of Demon Slayer. Did you like it? Did you not like it for some reason? What the hell's wrong with you? And if you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? If you liked it, what stood out to you? What was your favorite moments? What are some details possibly from the episode that we might have not talked about a whole lot? Maybe you have something to talk about when it comes to what's happening with the Mist Hashira. I can't remember his name. In the water bubble. And what are you hoping to see next? And for our manga readers, we haven't read the manga, so no spoilers. Please let us enjoy this. And yeah, I've been Seth. It's been Chevy. Until the next review, we'll talk to you guys later.